All right, let's get more on this now from Mark Meirowitz from New York. He teaches American foreign policy, American history, and constitutional law at SUNY Maritime College. Mark, how did this breakthrough in the grain exports issue come about, you think?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot due to Turkey's efforts, and I think it's very commendable what Turkey has been able to achieve. The problem is the word guarantee, and you might remember the Budapest Memorandum, which Russia signed when Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons. And you know what happened now. Russia invaded Ukraine. So the question about guarantee is the real kind of basis of this whole agreement, if it's going to work. Once they remove the mines, what does that mean? Does that mean Ukraine is not going to be defenseless? The Russians have already been attacking grain reserves in Ukraine. So I think there's a bit more to be done, but I think this does not diminish the efforts of Turkey in making this go forward, and of course the United Nations.
Yeah, and you touched on my next question there. Can Russia be trusted to keep the guarantees that it won't hit Ukrainian ports or grain ships if Ukraine removes the mines that are protecting its ports? That's really a key issue.
I go back to President Reagan. He used to say, trust but verify. And I'm wondering whether there's any element of trust here. I mean, Russia invaded Ukraine. It continues its invasion in Ukraine. I think that what we'll see here, hopefully, will be at least a short-term alleviating of the incredible crisis, food crisis in the world. But the question is, what next? What happens in the future? And what will Russia do about this? Will they interfere with this? And who is going to stop them? The United Nations? The United Nations has been completely unable to do anything because of the Russian veto. So it has no authority, no power, no influence on this, even though this issue is of major concern to the entire world. Russia's unpredictability, we really don't know. But I think that if we've gotten this far, and I say again, the thanks, as Guterres says to Turkey, I thank you, Turkey. I think that's very well deserved. Also, Turkey stopped a Russian ship with allegedly stolen grain. It's been doing a lot to help on this issue. But whether that we can cross the line and get this going in a real way, where the grain exports can move out to the world and deal with the food crisis, that is a question that I don't think is clear. I think there's more work to be done, but hopefully next week, when President Erdogan is in Tehran and meets with the Russians, that there will be a breakthrough on this. And I think that the world will be very thankful for that, at least.
And it really has had a big impact on the rest of the world. I mean, you think Ukraine is just one country, but it really is, as they say, the breadbasket of the world. What kind of impact has this had on global food security?
I mean, I think I was reading that there are 22 million plus grains of tons of grain and other, foodstuffs that are stuck. Billions of dollars have been lost. And obviously, I don't think we can stop completely the food, the food crisis, but it's an immense impact and a collapse of the whole ability to feed the world. And if this continues, it's just going to get worse. So you're absolutely right. Ukraine is the breadbasket, and this needs to move along. Now, I think, again, is Russia susceptible to criticism for this? I think that's why they're doing this, because it is so blatant what they're doing in terms of the grain. They're actually trying to use stolen grain and so forth. So that is focusing attention on this, and I think it would diminish their influence in the world, including in the third world. So maybe that's why they're making some sort of negotiation here. But I think, again, we're on the way to a solution to the problem, at least a short-term solution, and that will be very good. The Ukrainians are right to be worried that once you take the mines away, will Russia use this as an excuse to attack? And the answer to that question is we don't know, because we didn't expect Russia to invade Ukraine. So how do we predict what Russia is going to do in this particular scenario? And if they end up doing something like that, who is going to stop them? So that That's really a tremendous problem, and one that we really can't predict yet. Even if we sign an agreement, even if there is an agreement, as you said before, where are the guarantees? And there really no Europeans involved here. The United States is not involved here.
Okay.
There are no other major powers involved.
All right, Mark Mirowitz.
Regretfully.
All right, Mark Mirowitz, thank you joining us from New York.